Hello everyone, I am back with a new video and today's topic is vector and it is the part 2. Previously we have discussed about representation of vectors and what all laws should vector follow for being a vector, like it must have magnitude, direction, and also it must follow vector addition law of algebra. Okay, so now today, and we also discussed the types of vectors. Basically there were 12 types of vectors about, like parallel vectors, anti-parallel vectors, equal vectors, opposite or negative vectors, unit vectors, axial vectors, polar vectors, etc. Now today's topic is angle between two vectors. Angle between two vectors means we have to calculate the smaller angle between the vectors when they are placed tail to tail or head to head by shifting one of the vectors parallelly to itself. Let's take an example to get it more clear. Okay, so here there are two vectors, vector A and vector B, and the given angle between them is 30 degree. Let's see whether the statement satisfies that or not. See, head to head of the vectors are not connected to each other, but tail of both the vectors are connected to each other. So angle given between them is 30 degrees, so it is correct. So theta value will be 30 degrees. Now this is example 2. See, here it is vector P and vector Q. Here tail of both the vectors are not connected to each other, but head of both the vectors are connected to each other, and the angle given between them is 60 degrees, so it is also true. So theta will be 60 degrees. Now let us see another example here. See, there are two vectors, vector A and vector B. Now here angle between both the vectors is given 120 degree, but see here tail to tail, both the tails of vectors are not connected to each other, and also both heads of the vectors are not connected to each other, so 120 degree is not correct here. Now rule 1 says that if we move the vector parallelly to itself, neither the vector changes nor its magnitude will not change. Okay, so now we are taking this vector and placing it here. Okay, just taking it parallelly from here to here, so now vector will not change. See, this was previous and this is the new. Now head to head vectors are not connected, but now tails of both the vectors are connected to each other, so vector A and vector B forms an angle of 60 degree. How we got the 60 degrees? Basically, see, a straight line has 180 degrees. Now this one was given 120, so 180 minus 120 will give us 60 degrees. Simple. So now angle between two vectors will be equal to 60 degrees. Okay, now our next topic comes is vector algebra. Now there are some points which we must remember. Whenever a vector is multiplied by a positive number, then the new vector has same direction and its magnitude changes depending on the number. Okay, now if we multiply the vector by a number greater than 1, then generally its magnitude changes. It always depends upon the number. See, there is vector 1, there is some vector which is moving with a velocity of 10 meter per second in the direction I cap. Whenever there is a this symbol cap given, then it represents the direction. So it is moving with 10 meter per second in I cap direction. Now we are multiplying it with the positive 2 number. Okay, plus positive 2 multiplied by 10 meter per second in the I cap direction. Now the vector, now it will be 20 meter per second in the I cap direction. See, now magnitude has changed but the direction is still the same, it is I cap. Okay, now see the second point. Whenever a vector is multiplied by a negative number, then new vector has opposite direction and its magnitude changes depending on the number. Here also depending on the number magnitude will change, but we are multiplying it with negative number. See, negative sign represents the direction only. Okay, so now whenever we are multiplying a vector with negative number, it will just move opposite direction to what it was moving earlier. Okay, see now some vector is moving with a velocity of 10 meter per second in I cap direction only. Now we are multiplying it with minus 3 into 10 meter per second which is now moving in the I cap direction. Now it will be minus 30 meter per second in the I cap direction. Now minus 30 meter per second will be written as 30 meter per second minus I cap. Okay, now this minus I cap is representing that it is now moving in the opposite direction to what it was earlier moving. Okay, I hope it's clear to you. Now let us move to the another topic. Another topic here is addition of two vectors. Basically there are two methods, graphical method and analytical method. Let us see the graphical method. In graphical method there are two methods, triangle law and parallelogram law. Let us go with the triangle law first. Now let's read the statement. If two vectors are represented by two sides of the triangle in same order basically means a tail of a vector is connected to the head of a vector, okay, and different order means tail of a vector is connected to the tail of the vector only. Then their sum or resultant vector is given by the third side of the triangle taken in opposite order of the first two vectors. Opposite orders means that tail of two vectors are connected to each other or head of two vectors are connected to each other. Okay, let us see with the first example. See, vector A and vector B are given. Statement is that if two sides of the triangle are taken in same order basically here. Let's see. We have now see we have taken the B vector as it is. Okay, we have taken this A vector and moved it here. Moved it parallelly to here. Okay, now in same order means tail of head of this vector is connected to the tail of this vector. Vector head of the vector B is connected to the tail of the vector A. Now resultant vector will be this one. Now it is forming a triangle. So now resultant vector R is equal to vector A plus vector B. Let us see another example here. This is vector P and this is vector Q. We have not disturbed the vector P and taken the vector Q just parallelly to it. We have taken this vector and put it here. Now vector P and vector Q, both of them is in the same order and vector R is in the opposite order. So vector R resultant vector is equal to vector P plus vector Q. Similarly here, we have not disturbed the vector A, vector B here. Okay, just taken vector A parallelly to itself and kept it here. So now vector B and vector A are in the same order. Now vector C, basically it is the resultant vector only. We can display the resultant vector with any letter. Okay, it is not necessary to represent it with R. We can take A, B, C, D, anything. Vector C is equal to vector A plus vector B. Okay, now let us solve a question. What does the question says here? What is the correct answer? Basically there are four options given. Vector P plus vector Q is equal to vector R, vector P plus vector R is equal to vector Q, vector Q plus vector R is equal to vector P, or none of the above. Okay, now the figure given is this, like this. According to the triangle law, we know that two vectors must be taken in same order, then the resultant vector will be the sum of it. Okay, now see which of these three vectors are in same order. Vector Q, first let us consider vector Q and vector P. Now tail of both these vectors are connected to each other, so it is not in the same order. Okay, now let us see P and R. See, head of vector P is connected to the tail of vector R, so it means that these are in same order. Now we know that vector P plus vector Q will be equal to vector P plus vector R will be equal to vector Q, because vector Q is in the opposite order. So option 2 is the correct answer. Okay, now let us see the parallelogram law. First let us read the statement. If two vectors are represented by two adjacent sides of a parallelogram which are directed away from their common point, then their sum or resultant vector is given by the diagonal of the parallelogram passing away through that common point. Okay, first let us know what are adjacent sides. Adjacent sides of a parallelogram are basically continuous two sides, मतलब आस पास का कोई भी दो साइड. जैसे ये एक पैरेललोग्राम है, ठीक है, तो इसमें एडजेसेंट साइड कौन कौन सा होगा? ये दोनों एडजेसेंट होगा या ये दोनों एडजेसेंट होगा, ये दोनों एडजेसेंट होगा, कोई भी दो साइड, ठीक है, वो कंटिन्यूस हो वो एडजेसेंट होगा, ठीक है। तो यहाँ पे एग्जांपल देखते हैं दिस स्टेटमेंट को समझते हैं। देखिए लेट अस take this vector A and vector B. See, now we have to take it in the same order only. We have kept the vector A like this only and taken the vector B and shifted it parallelly to here. Okay. Now see, these two vectors will be formed. Now we will just form a parallelogram here. Okay. Now this will be parallel to this and this will be parallel to this. And also we know that in a parallelogram, opposite sides are equal also. So this will be vector B also and this is vector A also. Now from both the tails of the vector will be connected in the parallelogram. Now the diagonal, this diagonal will represent the resultant vector. Okay. Whether we use the triangle law or the parallelogram law, in both the cases answer will be same only. Okay. See here, we have taken vector A and vector B in the same order, like this only. Now this is its head, this is its tail. The resultant vector is still the same. Okay. From both the cases we are getting the same answer only. Now let us see the analytical method. Okay. This is the diagram. Angle TOP is theta. Parallel. This TOPS is the parallelogram. We have just drawn a perpendicular from S and extended the point P to Q. Okay. So triangle SQP. This triangle TOP is theta. Triangle TOS is basically beta. Triangle SOP is basically alpha. Okay. Now this will be the resultant vector of vector A and B. Okay. Now basically we have to just remember the formula of it. Not there is no importance of basically process in analytical method right now. Okay. So I'll just let you go with the formula only. From the given figure we get the formula R or resultant vector is equal to root over A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. Okay, this is just representing the magnitude. For direction it will be tan alpha will be equal to B sin theta by A plus B cos theta. Or if we want to find the beta one, then tan beta will be equal to A sin theta by B plus A cos theta. Okay. You just see the process and let me know if you are having any problem. Okay. This is now I'll show you the continuation also. DIRN basically represents the direction. Okay. That's all for today. Thank you.